guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today we are doing two looks using two Nomad palettes that are soon going to be gone for good. So if you don't have these palettes and you're interested, you do have them and you want to be reminded of them, or you just want to dupe the vibes, hang out, whatever it may be, keep on watching. Before we get too far into the video, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. I upload videos twice a week. It is totally free to subscribe and I would love to have you back again on the channel and in the comments to talk all things makeup. Let's go ahead and get into the first look with palette number 1. So for this first look, we are starting with the Paradise Islands palette. Now Nomad estimates for both of these palettes that they have around 2 to 4 months left of stock. But I feel like every time they make these announcements, sometimes it goes a little bit faster because people then realize it's low stock. And I wanted to make this video now, one, because I've never filmed with these palettes even though I own them. And two, because I don't know about you, but I like to plan my purchases out in advance. So it's not like if you see this video, you have to run out this week. You have, they estimate, 2 to 4 months to pick this up if you're interested. Here's the color story of the Paradise Islands palette. I've played a lot with the like orange and pink row, and I've done some of the like deeper blue shimmer, but I'm gonna do kind of like a purpley blue look today, I think. I have already primed my eyelids. I do with every single eyeshadow that I use ever. And let's zoom in a little bit here. I'm taking a Laura Lee Los Angeles L26 brush, and I'm gonna start with Seashell, which is this kind of purple shade. Now, one of the things I love, now that I'm close up here, about Nomad, if you've never shopped from them, is the embossings that they have on the different shades. Here's just to give you an idea of a few of them. And they are unique to every single palette. The only embossing that is in all their palettes is this one that has the NC for Nomad Cosmetics. Everything else, it depends on the palette. Like this one has turtles, the sun, etc. I hate messing up the embossings. I really do. It's my least favorite part. So I'm just taking that lighter purple shade and putting that here in the crease on both eyes. I do feel like Nomad's mattes, some of them are a little powdery. So I always recommend tapping the brush in the pan to get off any excess. Sorry, it was out of frame there. Before you go in, so that you're not making a huge mess, especially if you're like me and you do your base first and you don't want to mess it up. I'm going to go on a tiny Morphe JS6 brush, and I'm going to use Huahine, this deep blue. This is like the deepest shade in the palette. Maybe the green's the deepest. But if you wanted to go deeper, of course, you can just pull in a black or whatever from another palette. And I'm going to put this on the outer corner. I'm just gonna blend the edge enough that it connects to the first color I put in my crease here at the outer edge, outer corner here on both eyes. I will say Nomad's shimmers, in my experience, are not the most wow factor on their own. So I recommend a glitter primer. I'm using the Ulta Beauty one just because that's what I have on hand. And I'm applying that with a flat, this one's a Cliona brush, but you can use, of course, whatever you have. I think this just really makes the shimmers pop a bit more and give them their best shot at performing to their fullest capabilities. Now, if you like just like what I would call a traditional shimmer, then you might be okay with how they are without this step, but I like them to pop and not just be a traditional like, okay, it's kind of there. I really want it to stand out, but that could just be me and my personal style. Taking the same flat Cliona brush, I just put the glitter primer on, and I'm going to go with Shark all over the lid where I just placed that glitter primer. Such a fun like summer pool blue. I know it's a bit out of season for it being February, but it could be kind of wintry, right? Especially you could go like with the deeper shimmer and make it a little more winter leaning, or like if you wanted to use Tahiti, the darker like purple shimmer, I definitely think you could make it more wintry, but I kind of want the summery pop because this is around the time of winter where I just really become over the cold and start dreaming of better weather days and of my vacation from work, if I'm being honest. So I'm gonna let the pool vibes fantasy be in full effect just to give me a little bit of denial to get through these last few wintry and work months. Now I'm gonna take this Refer 2 brush and this shade Dolphin, and it's like a lighter teal blue. I'm just gonna run some of that underneath on the lower lash line. And I'm going to take a Morphe 560 and I'm gonna go in with the shade Whale. This is a light pale shimmer, and I'm gonna put that in the inner corner. In my opinion, Whale and Bora Bora could also be put a little bit on the tip of the nose, like a pretty color highlighter if you want that vibe as well. Now I just gotta have some kind of liner, you guys. I can't leave it. I can't let it be. That's just maybe me personally. But I think I'm gonna use Cuckoo Wasp with this Multichrome liner. It's kind of blue to purple to green from Sugar Drizzle. And just put a little bit of that on the lash line. I think I'll put maybe something in my waterline, probably this LA Girl Shockwave Neon Liner in Fresh, and some mascara, and I'll be back to show you the finished first look. Alright, and here is the final look with the palette. And I went with a darker lip. This is the Kaleidos Lip Clay in shade Agave that I'm wearing. I wanted something blue leaning, but just something to bring a little bit of, I don't know, grunge maybe to the look, just so it wasn't so like bright summer. I really like the dark with the bright. I'm glad I added the Multichrome liner. I like the little bit of purple peeking out. Yeah, I've never used this palette quite in this way before, so I'm really excited, re-excited about it. Haven't pulled this one out in a while. And yeah, just wanted to show you guys a little demo of what you can do with this palette if you're interested before it is gone for good. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the second palette that Nomad is discontinuing. Alright, so for look 2, we are using the Hudson Valley palette by Nomad. This is the same time frame given on that post of 2 to 4 months left remaining before it is gone for good. Now this one, I think of all the Nomad palettes, has the most mattes in the palette. When it comes to the matte to shimmer ratio, there are only 3 shimmers. And this side's more warm, this side's more cool. I feel like I've done a lot of warm looks with this one. I haven't filmed, of course, which is why I'm doing this video today with the palette. But I'm gonna go more cool tone. So I'm gonna start with Apple Cider Donut. And here's the embossings. As I was mentioning with the first palette, we have donuts, we have somebody hiking, we have just like some general like camping supplies there. Just so many fun embossings, and this one has a ton. On this side we have music notes, we have pumpkins, we have apples for harvest. Just a lot going on here, which I, again, love so much about this brand that they put those details in. So I am starting with the Laura Lee Los Angeles L26, and I'm just gonna place this first semi-nude cool tone shade. I guess it's not semi-nude, it is nude. This nude cool tone shade into my crease on both sides. Got a little dark, so I'm gonna take Ghost Tour, the lightest shade in the palette up here, just to kind of blend the edges here. Got a little too close to the brow bone, but it'll be fine. I'm going to take my Morphe 456 and I'm going to go in with Mountain Hike, which is this kind of olivey green one. A lot of kick up with the mattes in this palette. I do feel like that is somewhat consistent for Nomad's palettes, so tap tap again if you're like me and you enjoy doing your base first. Don't get it ruined with fallout. Just do a bit of tapping and everything will be fine. I will say with this palette, I do wish there was more cool tone shimmer options, because I feel like all 3 of these in the middle are pretty warm, and shimmer wise don't necessarily go with this half of the palette as well. but that's what we have to deal with, or to, not to deal with, to use today. I'm going to use Leaf Peeping, this one on the bottom. And I think I'm just going to keep it more subtle. You know, I keep telling you guys I think these pop better with a glitter primer, but I'm not going to use one today. Because I just want something a little more subtle and natural. I don't know if that's really what this look is. But B, just to show you what I'm talking about, the difference. This orange would be way more popping if I were using a glitter primer. But sometimes you just want something a little more muted, I feel like, and especially since I am doing more cool toned. Especially since I am doing more of like a cool toned-ish look. I don't necessarily want a bright yellowy orange, reddy orange, or green with any of these today. And honestly, that green color I used that has like a green undertone, it kind of just looks brown, if I'm being honest. So this is definitely like a fall vibes palette, I think. But it's neutral enough that really you could use it anytime. I'm going to use my Morphe M410, and I'm going to go with Farm to Table, this deepest brown, and I'm just going to use that as a shadow liner today. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put on some mascara, lipstick, finish off the look, and I will be back to show you the second look completed. Alright, and here is the final look. Just something kind of neutral, honestly, but it's got a little bit of a twist. It's not quite like just your stereotypical brown. I really like actually this orange shimmer that I added. It did make it pull a lot more warm, I think, than cool, but you still can see some of the cool mattes peeking out. And I paired it with this Milani lipstick in shade Shoop that I just pulled in my most recent Deck of Panning update. So yeah, this is the final look. So let me know what you guys think of the looks, and let me know what you guys think of these two palettes. Do you own them? Are you going to get them? Are you going to dupe the vibes? I would love to know. Thanks so much if you made it all the way to the end, and I hope to see you again on the next one. Bye!